Hello and welcome to the interview as the world reinvents itself, developing climate-fit urban places. Thank you to all friends of the iLoud for giving me the opportunity to share in this place of research and experimentation my experience regarding the creation of urban places. My name is Nadia Boschi and I'm an architect and I have a PhD in architectural technology and environment from the Polytechnic of Milan. I currently work for an international company that focuses on the development of large-scale urban regeneration. Previously, I was a professor of building construction at Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. One of the activities I do in my current role is to lead the creation of new urban places by developing strategies of social and environmental sustainability to make them fit for the new purpose. This interview provides an example of how large urban regeneration projects are preparing to deliver climate-fit places. Specifically, using the example of the Milan Innovation District MIND development, it discusses how the top two climate stressors impacting the city of Milan are addressed in master planning briefing and infrastructure design. On many fronts, it has become apparent that we must change the work we do and how we do it. Creating vibrant places where economics and social benefits are genuinely shared takes much more than the expertise and insights of one. Companies will be valued for what they stand for and for what service or product from time to time they will offer to the market. Common interests and partnerships will be at the heart of the development of new cities. Climate change is certainly a topic that has gained attention among the younger generation as well as in business fora, to a point that leading corporations have subscribed the Task Force on Climate Change Disclosure, which is a commitment to disclose in their financial statement their carbon footprint as well. Scenario modeling was introduced to assess climate risk and map potential impacts on the specific sector. In this case, the urban regeneration sector. The risk assessment includes social, economic, and political impacts as they relate to the specific sector being considered. The four scenarios considered go from resignation, no one does anything about climate change, to the transformation scenario, which it is or implies a systemic change. Leading companies are choosing to position their product for a transformation scenario, which is also taking the form of stating to be a 1.5 centigrade aligned companies. The example I will share today falls in this class and has the bold target of being absolute carbon zero by 2040. This means 100% renewable sources and zero carbon compensation. MIND is really the first development in Italy, being designed for climate resilience. MIND is a 1 million square meter development, which includes 3 major public anchors, a hospital, a human genome research center, and the new University of Milan campus. And then there are offices, hotels, and housing. It is the former site of the World Expo held in 2015. Part of the Expo legacy is the man-made water infrastructure shown in the picture in light blue. With new bold targets to achieve and new challenges to face, the practice is opening up the need for new expertises and the need for new tools to be considered together with the traditional ones. On the right side of the slide, there is an example of these new tools, which is the heat map of Milan developed by Bloomberg Associate Foundation. The type of question that these type of maps pose to the master planner is to demonstrate how the new development will improve the current and future situation. It is not the focus of this presentation, but considering the health and well-being implication of this newly reported climate condition is key to the success of the overall solution. To be able to demonstrate the climate resilience of a development, it is necessary to develop climate models that project future status. For example, at mine, we have considered the worst possible climate scenario, which is RCP 8.5, at the year 2090 for infrastructure and 2050 for buildings. As shown in this slide, on the left side, we have from top to down how the temperature will increase and also the duration of the peak period will expand. Similar increase happens for the relative humidity. This leads to a longer drought period and to a more intense and more frequent rainfall spells. Considering these results, the question is, how shall the urban and infrastructure design to be informed to be fit for purpose, and how these translate into a design that can create outdoor comfort under these conditions. A first step was to classify foreseeable uses of outdoor spaces and map the desirable comfort level to be achieved. Outdoor spaces at mine are designed with a variety of activities, from walking, sitting, enjoying, restaurants, and etc. So the area was studied and spaces with specific comfort level to be achieved identified. These include transitional areas for commuters and visitors, maybe business people, dwelling areas for recreation, play, sit down, and the area of arrival to the city. For transitional area, outdoor areas, and other areas, we identified comfortable level to be achieved for as much of the year as possible. Dwelling recreational area could be slightly warmer compared to business walking corridor. Same thing for the arrival zone, where people may dwell for shorter period of time, could be slightly warmer. Solar radiation analysis was also considered, and specifically design briefing instruction given to the urban planner. For example, highlighted in gray the streets in which it's best to have higher buildings on the south side of the street. Also in the picture you can see the red dots that identify area where it is necessary to develop a microclimate strategy for exposed surfaces to reduce overheating risk. In order of priority, it is recommended to provide additional seasonal shading with trees, strengthen the green and blue infrastructure, provide thick shading with high albedo materials, increase street permeability. These are all elements that can be used to mitigate the micro outdoor climate. The design on street became more granular by breaking the pieces and pinpointing how to increase thermal comfort in any given areas. So, for example, how to maintain the forests that provide thick seasonal shading and green surfaces, paths that can be punched across this zone that connect routes across. Additional shading can be provided along walking paths on the north or south elevation of building, which would be exposed during the early and late part of the day, and also to increase climate resilience, perhaps creating microclimate pavilions to be used during hot peaks days, and to be capable of providing areas of respite, cool zone around the site. Those were all consideration and stratification built to achieve maximum comfort level for the outdoor spaces at the site. Resilience was also a matter of study for the common ground areas. Thermal comfort in common ground areas is key for all people living in the site, but also it is a key element of success for retail. Planning for appropriate comfort may mean plan for microclimate pavilions, drinking water, and shaded seating places, strategies that we have seen also for the street. In addition, something that we have developed is an app for the users of Mind that provide education against the extreme weather condition and suggests most comfortable areas and heat and cool waves shelter, for example, in the microclimate pavilions. On the infrastructure side, Mind is already responding to the climate challenge with two major solutions: 100% grid decarbonization and the nature-based infrastructure. As you can see on the image on the left, Mind is in a suburban area constrained by major transport infrastructure. This mapping, together with the Milan heat map, called for a solution that could reconnect the area to its territory, and the concept of a green and blue infrastructure was proposed as a key strategy for this development. But it is at the interface with cost and development optimization that the concept of a green and blue corridor became a nature-based infrastructure. That is, leveraging the Expo 2015 water system that I pointed out earlier in the conversation, which is very nice but very costly to maintain as major fountain, and transform that canal into an element of the energy strategy, use it as a rainwater collector, design its bank to be an eco-corridor that enhances the biodiversity, and also an infrastructure that has leisure and comfort value as a strategic element of the design of the public realm. This nature-based infrastructure has also been tested for climate resilience, for flooding and high-intensity rainfalls. This is another example of how new and old disciplines need to work together to find a climate-fit solution. The images on the left exemplify how the landscape architect was envisioning the formal solution, and on the right, how the work of the engineer was modeling the water quantities to be managed and tested the suitability of the canal sizing and flag areas of attention to avoid potential flooding under the climate condition at 2090. In a very succinct way, this interview provided you with example of how climate change is changing the urban design and how the infrastructure assumes multidimensional value. Thank you for your attention. For any question that you might have, please send me an email. Bye.